So hello my dear friends, this is me your host Harsh and you are watching Electron Labs, and in today's video we are gonna be learning about Git, and we'll be learning with the basics. We'll be starting with the basics of Git. You'll get to know a lot about Git by the end of this video. Cool. So let's get started with the video. So what is Git? Like, if you ask me what is Git, so I'll reply in simple words that Git is a version control management system that keeps track of your files and of your code. You can, so here in this video we'll start with the basics of Git CLI basically, and you can also use the Git GUI version. The basics are same of Git. So first of all, you have to go to your browser and go to Git. Just search on Google Git and you will see this website. Just go to the download section for the download, and you can download it for any of the machine like Mac OS, Windows, Linux, or these are the three. Okay, so just download it for, like, let me download it for Linux, as I'm on Linux. So I'll just type these commands. You can see your distro, and if you're on Windows you'll get .exe file. Just run it, and we are pretty much good to go. So, like, first command is git config. So you can get the PDF I'm referring to in the description box. So I made it for you guys to make the Git simple for you guys. So just download this file and you'll see a first command called git config. So basically, by using this command you are telling Git that who you are. Like, so first you have to do is git config -- global, and just type user dot email space double quotes and give your email, whatever your GitHub email is. You have to have a GitHub account. So just create it. It's simple, like, it's free to make an account on GitHub. Just make one, right? And just type this command again. Now replace email with your name, like email with name, and here in place of your email ID just pass the GitHub username. Okay, so in my case it's the UI town. I'll pass it, and now Git know who I am. So this is the command written in the PDF file. You can also refer to it. So, like, let me tell you about a repository. What is a Git repository? So Git repository is basically a folder with Git configs, and Git will keep a track of all of the files inside that folder or repository. Okay, and you can go back to the old version of your files, and so there are two types of Git repositories. One is local and one is remote. So local one is on your local machine only, right? That is offline version. Okay, and if you talk about remote repository, so that is somewhere on a server, like that can be on GitHub, that can be on GitLab, that can be like, that is online, and that is not on your local machine. So that is called a remote repository. So now if you have a clear idea what is the repository, just like we'll create a demo F folder so that I can give you a clear idea. So now this folder is created and we are inside the folder. Now Git has no control over this folder. So to give Git control over this, we'll just type git init inside the folder in our terminal, or if you're using git bash UI on your Windows, commands are same, everything is same. Okay, just type git init and it will initialize the empty repository. And now here you can see that after the folder name there is a master written. So master is the main branch only. So we'll discuss about branch later on, but first we'll talk about the basics. Okay, so we have initialized our repository. So now there is a command called git clone. So what this command do is that if you want to clone any repository from GitHub, GitLab, or any other Git hosting site and to your local machine, so what you have to do is just type git clone space and the URL of the file you want to clone. Just give the URL, it will download the file and put it on your machine where you have just run the command. On in that folder it will download the repository and you can start working or whatever you want to do, you can do. So next command is git status. So what this command do is that it checks the status like of the repository, what changes you have made to files and what not, and which files are changed and which file is tracked and which file is not. It will give all of the things. Like if we type git status in our repository, so it will tell that there is no commit yet and no changes to the files. So as we have no file here, we'll create a test.js file here, and now we'll see what git status gives us. So it will give that this file is untracked. So like this file is not tracked by git yet, so you have to tell git that track this file and from now, and just save this as a cache kind of thing into the repository. So what you have to do is you just have to type git add dot dot means all of the files in the repository at that time, and or you can just type the file name you want. I'll do git add space dot, and it will just track all of the files inside it. Like if I type git status, it will give me that new file has been tracked. So yeah, so this file is now tracked, and if you want to commit this file to the repository, means commit, what commit really means? Commit means that you are telling git to take a snapshot of that file at particular time. At that particular time, what is the state of the file, what are the things inside that file and all. So like to make a commit of our current file, we'll type git wait, let me add some text to the file. So yeah, we have added some text to the file, means we have made change to the file. Now if we type git status, it will tell that this file is modified but it is not tracked yet. So you have to tell git that add this file to the repo, track this file, so then it will track the file. And now you have to now we'll make a commit. We'll take a snapshot of the current state of the files by typing git commit -m for the message, m for message, and just give any commit message you want to give. Okay, and hit enter. It will take a snapshot of this file at the particular time. Like you can see at the master, one file changed, one file inserted, means new file is created, and create mode. Okay, and now if we type git status, it will tell that nothing to commit, everything is on track. Cool. So this is how git commit works. And there's another command called git pull and git push. So what git pull does it, that if you want to pull the changes from the origin, means the remote branch, to your machine, to your local repository or to local machine, then you can use git pull space origin space and the branch name. So it will pull all of the files and changes from the master or the origin branch, means the remote repository. And the another command is git push. So you can push your code from your local machine to the origin, or you can say a remote branch. And this is how. And the syntax for that, it is git push space and give the remote name that can be origin, okay, space, and the branch name to be master. Mainly it, like if you have a single branch, then it will be most probably named master. Cool. So let's move further. So now here comes the thing of Git branches. So basically Git repository is a kind of a tree. Just imagine it's a tree, and as you know that a tree has a lot of branches, and every leaf is of different size and few different shapes, and the things are different in different leaves of a tree. Let's say this app, your app runs on mobile and desktop both, okay. So if you want to keep the code different in the same folder but different for the mobile and different for the desktop, so what you will do is that you will create two branches, one for the mobile and one for the desktop, and you will and both of the code will be separated from them, and both will have different code, different things, okay. So here comes Git branches. So by default there is one branch only, and you can just check how you can just check how many branches are there in the Git repository just by typing Git branch, and it will list the branches. And as of now we only have a master branch, so it will list that. So if you want to create a new branch so that you can work on that branch, and your new branch will be separated from the master branch. So what you have to type git checkout -p and the branch name. It will switch to a new branch, and it will also create a new branch called testing. If it's not already been there, it will create a new branch called testing. So yeah, so as of now both branches are same. Both branches have same file, same things, and now we'll show you how it works. I'll edit that JS file. I'll change the text to joke. So here, so I'll edit. I'll give it a commit message. Cool. So yeah, we have made changes to the file in the testing branch, and now I'll go back to the master branch and I will show you that test.js file. Now you'll see the difference of branches, of benefit of having different branches. So I'll check out the master branch, and now I will do nano test.js. Now you can see here console.log has a message of LOL, while we have done it to the joke, but that we have done it in testing branch, not in master branch. So both files are different. Okay, this is the benefit of branches. So you can also merge branches. So see, in order to merge two branches, what you have to do is git merge testing. Okay, so you have to do git merge and the branch name to with which you want to merge the master branch. So now we'll do nano test.js, and now you can see that console.log message is changed to joke, but earlier it was in the master branch it was lol, but in testing branch it was joke. Now in master branch also it is joke. So yeah, this is how you can merge two branches, the code of the two branches. And there's a command called git stash. So let me tell you git stash how it works. I'll just open that file again, and I'll just add anything, and so we have just added it. And so if you want to stash it into the cache of Git, like the changes you want, like if you don't want to save the changes but you also want to keep a track of that file or the changes, so what you'll do is you will type git stash, and here you can see it will save the working directory on the master, but you haven't added it, but you haven't committed it, right? So let me tell you the theory part of git stash, that it saves changes that you don't want to commit immediately to the repository. So just type git stash in your working directory or git stash apply if you want your saved changes back. So if you want your changes back, so what you'll do is you will type git stash apply and it will give you the files. So this is how you can do this, and you will get your old changes back saved in the cache of git. So I have already told you about git merge, so let's talk about git log. So git log is a kind of a history tracker. It will keep a track of all of the commits and when those commits were made, who made, and all of that stuff, right? So you can go back to that commit. Just let me tell you how you can do that. So just type git log and it will list all of the commit history and who made and when, the time, and all. This is these are the snapshot, right? So like these are if you want to go back to the old code of your repository, just copy the commit id. So I'll copy the first one, and so I'll type git revert and type the commit id, and I'll hit enter, and now it will give a commit message. Just if you want to change it, you can change it, or if you don't, so yeah, that's all about you. So now you can see the one file change, one insertion, and one deletion. So let's check what all is deleted and what all is inserted. So let me open the file test.js, and here you will see that our file is changed. So it was like joke and some random letters, but now it is lol. It is back to the old state of a file. So this is how you can go back in the past. So this is called time travel of git. So yeah, this is how you can time travel using git. So I told you about git revert and git difference. So let's talk about git difference. So this command is to compare the different files, and you can preview the changes in the file, what all you have changed from the last version of the file. And you can also so you can also compare the branches, and you can also compare the remote and local branch of your repository. So yeah, so one more thing is git remote. So if you want to connect your git repository to some online remote repository, what you have to type is git remote add and origin, if in the case in GitHub. So and type the URL of your remote branch or the remote repository on GitHub, just and hit enter. It will add it to the remote, and from now onwards, if you do git push or git pull, it will take that branch as the origin and the remote branch. So this was all about the basics of git, and that's what you need to know to get started with the git. Yeah, this was all about git. I hope you have enjoyed the video. So hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and press the bell icon. And if you have any query, you can hit me up on Instagram, or you can just put up your queries in the comment section. I'll try to reply as soon as possible I can. And yeah, bye bye, see you.